Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing some baby back ribs. So I'm going to season them tonight, that way we can put them on the smoker tomorrow late morning-ish and have them ready for supper. Alright, so first thing we got to do is take off this membrane. And what you want to do is start at the small end, as I've figured out for myself. Large end, not so good. Start at the small end. Usually you can pull it off pretty simply. You just got to get your knife underneath there, underneath that membrane, and just start to kind of loosen it up a little bit, just enough to where you can start to peel it away from the bone. Get your finger underneath there, just so you have something to kind of hang on to. Grab a paper towel, grab that, and it should pull off really nice. You'll have a little bit here at the end that kind of goes underneath some other fat and everything. That we can just go ahead and trim right there. So you can skip this step if you really want. What this does is it just allows the seasoning to sink in a little bit more to the meat, and then also when we're smoking it, it allows the smoke to set in a little bit further because it doesn't have this impenetrable membrane blocking the meat. So I'm going to do our other couple sets of here, and then we're going to season. First thing we're going to do, now that we got those off, is we're going to throw just a little bit of mustard on here. Just going to rub that around. This is going to act as a binder for all of our seasoning. It really doesn't add a whole lot of flavor to it. It does maybe add a little zing, but we have so much extra flavor going on this thing that mustard is going to be the least of our worries when it comes to that. And I'm going to do both sides. Obviously we got flavor coming in from every direction, and now that we got that membrane off, we can actually infuse a little flavor here even on the bone side. So, got that done. I have my own rub here, and with ribs I like to go pretty heavy on the back end, just because again we're dealing with bones, we're not infusing a ton of flavor, so we want to put in as much as we possibly can. Make sure we're getting everywhere. Flip it. Do the same thing on the other side. You don't want to go too thick on the meat side, especially just because we want a lot of that smoke to sink in. And this rub in particular is fairly fine. I actually run it through a food processor because brown sugar is in it, and brown sugar always to me tends to clump up. So I run it through a food processor to break that up as much as possible. There we go. And this seasoning is somewhat or fairly spicy, I guess. I'm a big fan of spicy, so it's not spicy for me. It's like the right perfect amount of little zing, little zang. So be careful with it. If you are making the rub, I'll put it down in the description down below. If you are making it, feel free to put as much or as little cayenne pepper in there as you want. I use 7 teaspoons. You definitely could cut that down to 5 or 4, but really the point of this rub is to get that sweet, spicy, a whole lot of different flavors going on here. So I'm going to do these other two, wrap these up in tin foil, put them in the fridge overnight, let that rub sink in as much as possible, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Welcome back, guys. It's been overnight, I guess now. It's about noon, so I'm going to start these ribs. We're going to put them on for, because they're baby backs and not St. Louis style, we're going to try the 2-2-1 method, which is 2 hours on, straight on the grates. Then we're going to wrap them up in tin foil, put a little extra apple juice in there with them for 2 hours, and then we're going to pull them off for the last hour, and then we're going to keep spritzing them once that piece is up. So, let's start here. Bone down always when we're doing the initial cook. That The bones are going to protect the meat, so we're not going to get overly done, and we're not going to dry out. So we're going to put them in here, get some bone down, and we'll be cooking. I'm really only using my gloves today because A, it's cold outside, and B, this cayenne pepper, if that gets on your hands and you accidentally go to wipe an eye, that is a bad day for you, friend. See, I'm just going to alternate kind of the sides here. You do want to make sure that there's enough space in between them so that air can flow, and especially the smoke can flow. So that way we're going to get as much coverage of smoke through here as possible. And I'm trying to stay out of my I'm trying to stay out of my hot corner there. So again, know your grill, know your smoker, and I'll see you guys back here in a couple hours. Alright guys, we're back. It's been 2 hours. We're going to pull these off. And I took the temperature on our front is actually the hottest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that that sticks in the middle when we put them back on here. Just to kind of even out the heat. And then we're also going to flip them around so that way the other end is getting the heat. What we're going to do is we're going to wrap them up in tin foil here. I'm going to take a little bit of apple cider vinegar and just spray that in here, just as a little extra moisture. And then we're also going to put a little honey in there, just to kind of sweeten it up a little bit and give it just a little bit of extra flavor. You don't need a ton. Really, we're just hoping to kind of get a little bit of that flavor infused in here. Important thing to remember is when we lay this down, we want to have it meat side down, so that way when we're folding up, we're folding up with the bones on top. You can see we're getting a lot of nice coloring in here. We're actually getting a little warm on that end, but as you can see on the other side there, the meat is still nice and intact. So that is good. That's why we want the bones down for this part of the cook. So we're just going to wrap these up and go from there. There we go. We're going to let those sit for another 2 hours and then come out, pull them off, and that's where we're going to start spritzing them. Ooh, those are looking good. You see how the meat's pulling back from the bones. They're almost coming out. You got to be careful too because they're starting to get to the point where they're very, very tender. And you want to make sure to not let it fall apart as you take it out here. Put it back on the rack. Set that one aside for now. Not a whole lot of juice in the bottom of these, but you still want to save that. Use that for kind of basting back on here in a minute. Just want to get them all back to bone side down again. And then we're going to take all that trimmings we had, or all that drippings. Just kind of sprinkle that over the top. There we go. And all that flavor dripping down and steaming back up is just going to come right back up to us as more flavor. So these are going to These are gonna be good, man. Whew. All right, so we're gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna come back out every 10 minutes from here on out and just spritz it with some apple cider vinegar. Again, we're just trying to keep that moisture up so we don't dry out. That's it. We're gonna do this every 10 minutes until we hit the half-hour mark, and then we're gonna put some barbecue sauce on. So, I'm gonna take this, I'm just gonna rub this on here, get a nice good covering. You don't need to overdo it with the sauce, because really what we're looking for is that it sets up and creates a nice glaze on it more than anything. So we don't want this to be wet by the end, we want this to be a nice glaze. Alright. I think that looks pretty good there. Alright. Shut it up again for another 30 minutes or so and pull them off. Tonight we got the Old Granddad Bourbon. I wanted to do this with my brother because we have this old bottle from my great-grandpa's house after he and my great-grandma died and cleaned out their house. And we found some cool old bottles, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to do a little bit of the new along with the old bottle. Kind of a cool looking setup, I guess, more than anything. So
it's very, very old.
That is, yeah. I don't know how old this is. If anybody out there has any idea or any way of figuring out how old it is, that'd be awesome to figure that out, because I'm guessing this thing's at least 80 years old. Probably closer to 100 now.
Yeah, at this rate.
Based off of how old he was when he died.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, if anybody has any idea or any information on how to figure that out, please let me know. So, Paul is not a bourbon drinker.
Yeah, not a bourbon drinker. Drink a lot, but nothing pure straight. So, I got a little 7-Up chaser over here, because that's just how weak I am with it. But, yeah, here we go.
That's all right. All right, so, got to give it the nose. What does it smell like?
Strong.
It is bottled and bond, so this is 100 proof.
But I mean, not as bad as some other ones that I've had before. So, especially with the age, it's gonna help smooth it off a little bit more. You know.
You definitely get a lot of ethanol on the nose, but.
Yeah, right off the bat, you do. But the back end's not too bad.
No, it's kind of a.
Definitely as strong as it kick, I guess.
All right, here's your grandpa.
Gramps.
Oh.
Not as bad. Not as bad. The back end of the tongue is where it hits you.
Yeah.
The front end isn't too bad.
The start is really the beginning is really clean, actually.
Yeah. The back end where you get the burn, you get the more of the pure bourbon.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, it's just the alcohol. That's the proof.
Yeah. But no, not as bad. Definitely a sipper.
Oh,
say
yeah.
that. Still have to sip this too, because
I'm gonna sip this in too.
Differences, for sure.
Yeah, that is good. Again, not a fancy man's review, but definitely a good bottle. I would buy that again. It's like $25 for a liter, so go out and pick up some Old Granddad for Old Granddad. All right, so it has been another hour. These are nice and set up, and you can see the barbecue sauce on there is no longer real liquidy. It's more of a glaze like we wanted. So it's time to pull these bad boys off and eat some food. I got the brother here this time to try it out. So we're gonna try the ones with the glaze and the dry rub as well. I know you like the dry rub typically normally. So
better.
Grab a little piece there and okay, not just the bone.
I've seen if it fall off the bone.
Oh yeah. Ooh. You know, Data don't take no stuff.
Oh, that smells so good.
Ooh.
Very club.
Ooh.
Extremely juicy. Oh, it's getting fall right off the bone. Oh,
Tender.
that is good.
That is a good baby back rib. All right, well, we gotta try the glazed one. There'll be more after this. Just hold your ponies,
go for this one here?
This one's glazed too.
That one's glazed too. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. A little chunk.
Yeah, you know what's good when you get a nice clean bone coming off there.
Ooh. It's definitely sweeter. I can smell it.
I kind of like that one.
I think I like that one more, honestly.
I think I do too. I'm surprised.
It's a bit juicier. Get some. Oh. Yeah, that is good.
I think I like that. When it's glazed down like that.
It adds a little bit more moisture to the meat itself.
I agree.
Yeah, I am a. Both are amazing, but I would 100% agree on this one's better.
There you go, folks. Heard it from the man himself, the brother.
The brother from another mother, even though same mother.
It's just called brother then.
Same thing.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, we'll see you next time. Remember to like, subscribe, and put in the comments down below. See what you want me to do next. I'm open to any suggestions at this point. We'll see you next time. I'm proud of you, buddy. I was fully expecting somebody to throw up here. So.
Bucket right here, right next to me, ready for it. Yeah.
Oh, hi, fish.
I'm looking to see if there's a date. Did you?
Oh, the kid's here.
No one
I'm
likes
looking
her.
to see.
She's just here.
You're so.
That's gonna be great after the vendor's cut.
The vendor's cut.
Yeah.
He makes this weird thing of me every single video.
Yeah.
Because it's funny.
No,
It
it's
is.
not.
I laugh.
It's the Avengers cut. It's that little bit afterwards. Are we still recording, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We better then.
As much
I think
as possible.
on the check.
Yeah.
You think you
It
know?
says
You think-
nothing in it.
Yeah, it's an old empty bottle.
You just finish it off.
Oh yeah.
All right, you can shut it off probably. It doesn't have a date on it.
No, it's
Sure.
No, it's got a batch number, which is partially ripped off.
closest thing you get to it.
1/4 of a dollar.
Yeah, I mean it. I'm sure you could go back and trace it and have